Have you ever wondered what it would be like if, I don't know, 150-foot tall alienoid creatures came down from outer space and just deleted all of your info, all of your data from your phones, your computers? Me either. I guess if you had like warrants or something, you'd be kind of fine. It'd be kind of perfect. Let's talk about that. Also, peep the light. You can tell this is going to be a good video. Anywho, well, have you ever just sat there when you're watching a movie or you're watching a TV show on your favorite streaming app, and you don't really want to pay for the premium because you're fine with a little bit of ads, but then you sit there and you see the same ad over and over and over again, and then you realize it's not an ad, it's just a movie? That's War of the Worlds 2025. It is just an Amazon ad for 91 minutes. The epitome of this movie is Amazon, Ice Cube, Amazon, Roderick from freaking Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And why is this the movie that I rediscover? I think his name is Devin Bostic. Why is this the movie? Of all movies, from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days, to now, why is this the first time I'm seeing him again? I'm sitting there watching this movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, let's see, I've seen some horrible things about this movie, but let's see, maybe it's all just a lie. Maybe it's not even real. The scenes I've seen on TikTok and Instagram, maybe that's just not real. Let me give the movie the benefit of the doubt. And I really wish I didn't. Because the entire time I was like, I was having an episode, man. I was watching the whole thing and I was like, this isn't real. This is not real. The editing, the VFX, the acting, the one thing I expect a movie to be great at, or at least good at, is the acting portion, because that's what I'm watching. I'm not watching the VFX too closely. I mean, I am, but I can let that slide sometimes. I love the prequel Star Wars trilogy. The CGI is not that great because it came out from 99 to 2005, but I mean, that had better VFX than 2025's War of the Worlds adaptation. H.G. Wells is in his grave. He's done flopped over, turned over. He doesn't care about this movie. He wants to get rid of it. Because this movie just sucks. I'm going to be straight up. This movie sucks. I would much rather watch Anakin say the word sand 1,000 times than watch this movie for a second time. Amazon, Ice Cube, Amazon, Roderick. Why? This is just the worst thing I could ever imagine. All right, in all seriousness, I know that we had a goofy little intro and like a really wacky rant just about literally anything. I know I talked about Anakin saying the word sand 1,000 times, and anywho, I wanted to just come on here briefly, give you a summary of what War of the Worlds started out as and kind of where we're at now, and just give you kind of brief bullet points on why I didn't like this movie, specifically the 2025 adaptation for Amazon Prime. So we actually start in 1898. H.G. Wells wrote War of the Worlds and published it for the world. And honestly, it was like a really big deal for science fiction. It kind of helped branch us off into what we know as science fiction today. I mean, he was talking about aliens coming down, needing to find a new suitable home because theirs is, losing water, losing vegetation, losing life as they knew it, and so they needed to find a suitable replacement. And well, Earth, as you can tell, we have plenty of water, we have vegetation, we have life here that is abundant and thriving. So they decide, Earthlings, they seem to be a little on the dumb side. We're a little bit smarter than they are. Fun fact, they weren't. And they come in to start and invade Earth. hit the catalyst event that they just start dying. And so if you're reading this book for the first time and you're like, aliens are here, they're going to go, like, how are we going to defeat them? Well, we didn't. They kind of just defeated themselves. They did all their research on us, I guess, and forgot to be like, hey, are there any like diseases and stuff that we don't have on our planet that will kill us? They didn't do that, and that's literally what happened. They contracted viruses and just started dying because we have microbes and bacteria that they don't in that part of space, and so they just start dying. And there you go. War of the Worlds was kind of just one battle of two separate worlds. And in all honesty, from 1898 to the most recent iteration here in 2025, the story has pretty much stayed the same. So the book came out, and jump forward now to 1939, Orson Welles did a radio broadcast of War of the Worlds. You're sitting around after dinner, you're getting ready to listen to your favorite radio host, who is very well known for telling stories and for being able to suspend disbelief long enough for you to believe what's going on. And really, they did. He was telling this story in a way that no one had ever seen before. All we had was this book, and now it's being brought to life. And so well, in fact, that people honestly thought it was real. It caused so much of a panic around people because they thought it was these aliens coming down from outer space, and they're destroying, their local post office or, their local government. They thought, we're under attack. This is real. And, I won't even draw a comparison to the fact that, 1939, one world faction invaded another, caused a world war. Too soon? It's okay. So all these stories have pretty much aligned perfectly. Even in 2005, you follow the character that Tom Cruise plays. He goes to try and reunite his kids with his ex-wife, with their mother. And in all of this, he's protecting them from these aliens and trying to keep them safe. And at the very end, they witness the destruction of one of them, and the hatch opens and you just see a sickly alien. It's the story has been intact for over 100 years, where you've got aliens, they're destroying things, and they somehow die from some sort of disease that they've contracted, and life goes on. Life moves forward. And they really could have done something amazing with this iteration in 2025. They could have, shown just the sheer amount of change that we've had over the past 20 years in our technology. They could have done some really amazing things. They could have given us some really cool scenes. They could have given us some really great pacing, but they just didn't. Like, one of the least of my my nitpicky pieces on this movie is the pacing. Like, it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. It's just really, it's really unsure of how fast it needs to be in moments, and also really unsure of how slow it needs to be. So everything's just kind of running into each other, and it doesn't give a lot of room to breathe. It's not cut in a way that you can really kind of see what's going on moment to moment. Everything's all just happening at once, and they're trying to portray it as that, which is probably what would happen in real life. I mean, you're not going to have like some A storyline and then a B storyline happen right after. It's probably going to be pretty simultaneous, but a lot of different medias that do that, they really pace really well, like things in Stranger Things. That's a really good depiction of having some conjoining storylines and some different things like that. Whereas this movie, it just kind of falls flat on its face. And the same thing with like the acting. There are moments with the acting that, you kind of forget that you're watching a terrible movie. But then they just jump right back into it where there's like moments that Ice Cube thinks that his son is dead, and he gives a lackluster reaction to it, but then he 20 minutes later believes that his daughter has just died, and also gives a lackluster reaction, but it's bounds more than what he offered for when his son was thought to be dead. Neither of them died. None of the characters in this movie actually died. They all are alive and well at the very end. They just faked so many times where they're like, "Oh, are they dead?" No, they're not. They just die and they come back with some random information about these creatures, about these things from outer space that are destroying our planet, all so that they can take our data, which is a big thing. So from beginning to end, there is talk of this thing called Goliath. Goliath, in a nutshell, is taking is our government, the United States government. This guy that directs the Department of Homeland Security. He has basically got all of our information, not just our countries, but everyone's information. He's got our texts, our phone call conversations, our emails, our YouTube history, our browser history. He's got our Snapchats, our Instagrams, Facebooks, previous MySpace accounts. He's got every bit of information on this one data center named Goliath, and it's a big government secret that our main character even is unbelieving that it is a thing. That and that is also the whole thing of the disruptor, who is his son. He's trying to expel that. Oh, this is a thing, and I'm gonna expose it. And then the aliens come in, they hit you, and now here we are, piece by piece, moving forward. This Goliath is pretty much an epicenter for data that these aliens feed off of. The whole motive has changed from our planet is dying and our Earth is going to be their new home, so they come in to invade, wipe us out, and they in turn accidentally wipe themselves out because of some sort of virus that they contract by bacteria. In this one, they are pretty much these like cybernetic, biological, and mechanical being, and they feed off of data. So I'm thinking they probably have gone from planet to planet to planet, and now here we are, War of the Worlds. They're on our Earth, where we have all of this data, we have all of this stuff, and especially we have one epicenter of everything known to man. Which, I mean, that sounds pretty enticing if you're into that kind of thing. You're like, oh, I want some data. I'm going to go over here and get some data from Goliath. Anywho. So after that, the whole virus thing, well, how does that come into play? Well, his daughter is a scientist at this lab that's in the city that they all live in, and she's been working on this biomechanical. It's literally just a virus to fight this kind of thing, to kind of be a safeguard or something. It doesn't really explain what it is. All of a sudden, you just know I have a virus that'll work, and it in turn works in the end. Everyone has a happily ever after. The director of Homeland Security that created this Goliath thing, which in fact drew these creatures in to the planet, was arrested, among other people, and different things. Just all this stuff. But really, like, that's a great idea if you have good pacing. It's a great idea and a great story if you have good acting. If your VFX aren't struggling to the fact that it looks like you just put a JPEG image onto like an animating engine, and you just start moving it around. It looks like a 5-year-old could have done it by drawing pictures. They could have done it so much better. it just was not, it wasn't done good. It's just meh. Like, there are movies like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love the series, but the movie's just awful. Same as Dragon Ball Evolution from 2009. It's the same thing. You've got great source material. You've got all the potential in the world to make something outstanding, and you just fall flat on your face due to the acting, due to the CGI, and due to the writing and the editing. Just everything entailed made that a bad movie, not the source material. I mean, War of the Worlds, I really genuinely think that there could have been a great movie out of what was shown, just not that one. You know, the editing was really poor. I mean, there was a moment where a cameraman looks like he runs across the green screen that you're supposed to be watching, and it's like, I can tell that's fake. I know that's not like a guy running in a field because the image is superimposed behind him. And just, I'm nitpicking on things. These are things that I've seen all over TikTok, and I'm like, I could show you all these clips, I could do all these things, but it's just like beating a dead horse. It's not going to be productive. I'm just telling you my opinion on things that I haven't really seen. Are just, this story had so much potential, in my opinion, and it fell flat on its face. And that's all I can really say. Like, I don't know exactly how to articulate the fact that this is just not a good movie. It's not one that I'm gonna, like, willingly watch again. It's not one that I'm gonna recommend to any friends or anybody that's, watched movies and likes to sit down and enjoy time and relax. Like, this movie, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna recommend it whatsoever. Someone asks me, hey, do you have a good movie? It's not gonna be War of the Worlds 2025, I can tell you that much. Hey, do you have a bad movie to watch? War of the Worlds 2025. That's about all I can really say for it. I feel like I've rambled on, and I'm just like spewing out all sorts of things. So, to kind of button it all up for you, the acting sucks, the VFX looks like trash, and I feel like a monkey could animate it better. The editing is garbo. The freaking storyline just kind of fell flat on its face after it picked itself up every time. It recycled killing off somebody that you know, would be attached to, and that's a main character, and then immediately bringing them back after like 5 minutes to kind of develop the story. And utterly, it's just one big Amazon commercial. In an hour and 31 minutes, you hear Amazon like 15 times, and you see this Amazon Prime Air ad that's pretty much Roderick, his character, tells Ice Cube's character, usually the way this would work is someone buys something, it saves them a little bit of money if they select that they want it Amazon Prime Air, and if you hit buy now, we'll just send it over with a drone. It takes like an hour, and it blah blah blah. It's just, it's not worth it, man. It's really bad. So again, to button it up, acting sucks, VFX sucks, editing sucks. It's an Amazon commercial. And last but not least, like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any recommendations on good movies, bad movies, movies you think I may not have seen before, or some random movie that no one has seen before, but you want me to do a reaction to it, let me know down in the comments below. Again, I hope you like, I hope you share, and I hope you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can be notified anytime I make a video and I post it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day. See ya.